Morning. I'd like to call the subcommittee response and revitalize other committee to order at 10:15 August 2nd, 2021. Roll call, please.
Mr. Wheeler?
Present.
Mr. Seroy?
Present.
Mr. Payton?
Present.
Mr. Hess?
Present.
Mr. Snipes? We have a quorum.
Okay, do I have any public comment? Any public comment? Any public comment? Seeing none. Any public input? I know Mr. Clark is here with the Bonus Park District. Any public input at this moment, Mr. Clark?
Yes.
Please go to the mic right now, sir. Thank you.
Yes, I have a request, and I gave it to Chairman Wheeler for a reimbursement for lost revenue of, I believe it was $9,853 that I am requesting from utilizing it from these funds.
Thank you, sir. We will talk about your request later on in the agenda, but
Okay,
I appreciate your coming. All right, so I need a motion. We had no minutes from this committee meeting, did we?
Yeah.
Did we have enough for a minute? Okay, so I need a motion to approve the minutes. Mr. Payton, and second by Mr. Hess. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Mr. Wheeler on Zoom.
Aye.
Thank you, sir. Minutes approved. Submission forms. Do we have any other submission forms, Kelly, besides, or are these just the forms that are on the table there, the applications?
Yes.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Mr. Wheeler.
it's just because now we have the submission forms based on the things that we need to know, and as a committee and as a board, to be able to approve or deny any request.
Okay, so we have,
those will have to be filled out by requesters, and the ones that we already have, the requests, it'll be after the fact, obviously.
will they be able to submit these forms as they come into the meeting? Like
Or they
public
could
comment
take 'em
card?
back they could take them and fill them out and email them back.
Okay.
It's whatever they need to do. We need to have that on file with every request
Perfect. Thank you, sir.
for external requesters.
External.
Obviously, internally, we're the grant manager, so we know that information. So,
Okay. Moving on to policy discussions. Number one, where applicable grantees demonstrate access to operational funding post ARPA, no county funding. Do we have any discussion on that, gentlemen? Make a
if I
motion
could,
to,
Mr. Chairman,
yes, sir.
I kind of threw out for all of the committees the same policies that we had all talked about individually about the use of the money, and some restrictions that we thought would be applicable in most situations that would allow, and if we approve these, and most versions are on every committee's agenda, it'll allow us to be able to start fully vetting projects and go through the ideation process on others.
Okay, so we have a motion from Mr. Hess to approve. Second, Mr. Payton. All in favor? Let's do a roll call on that. All in favor, say aye on roll call, I guess.
Mr. Wheeler?
Aye.
Mr. Seroy?
Aye.
Mr. Payton?
Aye.
Mr. Hess?
Aye.
Motion carries.
All right. And that's same as the adoption of policy for consideration by the executive committee. So that will go to the executive committee, but I think that came from the executive committee if my memory serves me correctly. All right, so we're gonna move on to the list of requests for Bonus Park District. In your packet is a list of requests. We cannot replace the amount of $9,483.44 because that was prior to the March 21st deadline. But as Mr. Clark stated in his proposal, this is lost revenue, and he would like to replace this lost revenue, and that does qualify in our consideration for these funds. The only thing is, I have a problem with the term lost revenue, because if we start approving lost revenue for every entity that lost revenue during the COVID year, we could open ourselves up to beauty salons, taverns, all those places that lost revenue. So does anybody have any comment on that, or can I get a motion to approve Mr. Clark's request, and then we can have a comment? Mr. Hess, motion to approve. Second. Mr. Payton? Okay, now we can have discussion. Does anybody have any discussion on that? Mr. Wheeler?
Thank you, sir. The thought I had on this was the Township Park District and other park districts, as well as fire protection districts, did not get any of the previous, whether it's PPP, cures, cares, any other program was not applicable to them. So in order for us to be able to help him with this expense that is obviously, it's $10,000 roughly, but in order for us to help him, he's going to have to demonstrate and document more accurately. The Township Park District will have to document that they had lost revenue. So all we need is the page from their audit that shows, the 19 to 20 number, if you will, and that will, the year for 20 to 20 as compared to 19, and then we'll be. I'm sure it's very simple to document. So all we need is his application form, and we can reimburse the amount for PPE that he's and the associated other COVID-related items for that. So it wasn't necessarily for, as your comments were, we would be in a lot of trouble if we were doing another round of giving out money to people who already received help in the past or were eligible and didn't apply or whatever else. So I just want to explain that to the committee.
Thank you, Mr. Wheeler. Mr. Clark, do you have those documents that the chairman had stated to provide to this committee?
I can pull those together. We're in the middle of our 2020 audit right now, but I can, from our financials, I could pull together to show you what we were losing on a monthly basis between 19 and 20, if that would do.
Could you email those to administration, and then we could put this on the finance agenda for next month?
I'll do my best to get those documents to you.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Chairman, if I could clarify one thing.
Yes,
that
sir.
I forgot to address. The rules on reimbursement are not ours. They are the Department of Treasury's rules. So we didn't come up with we can't reimburse before March. That's the only way, that's a legal use of the money, is everything from March going forward of 21.
I agree. We're just trying to follow all the rules.
Exactly. And we're going to need this audit trail because every quarter we have to prove up with the Department of Treasury on our use of the money. So our finance department, who's gathering those documents, are going to require the proof, if you will. It's, we're not questioning integrity. It's what we're going to be tasked with in proving up every quarter on this, the spend, if you will. Thank you.
Agreed. Okay. Thank you. So, do we need to approve that? Vote. Roll call vote, please, to move to finance.
Mr. Wheeler?
Aye.
Mr. Seroy?
Aye.
Mr. Payton? Aye. Mr. Hess? Aye. Motion carries.
Okay, are there any other requests to be seen before this subcommittee? Any other requests? Seeing none? Mr. Hess would like to make a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second? Mr. Payton? All in favor say aye. Aye.